Evil doesn't always wear a monstrous face. Sometimes it hides behind a mask of charm, subtle manipulation, or seemingly harmless actions. These individuals walk among us, sowing chaos, exploiting vulnerabilities, and leaving trails of emotional wreckage. How can you recognize them in the everyday interactions of your life? Evil isn't always about grand, overt acts of cruelty. More often, it's found in the small, calculated behaviors designed to control, deceive, or diminish others. These insidious actions, though subtle, can erode your peace and steal your energy if left unchecked. In this article, we'll uncover 14 evident signs that an evil person may be in your life, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. Each sign reveals a deeper truth about human behavior and offers lessons to protect yourself while maintaining your inner peace. Stay with us until the end, because the final signs may surprise you and hold the key to transforming your relationships and mindset. If you find this content helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Victory Stoic for more transformative insights. Comment below with the affirmation, "I choose wisdom and peace over toxicity," to commit to a stronger, clearer, and more peaceful life. Let's dive in and uncover the hidden truths that could change everything. Number 1. They frequently manipulate others. Manipulation is their weapon of choice, a subtle yet ruthless tool wielded to bend reality and emotions to serve their agenda. These individuals twist facts, distort the truth, and exploit vulnerabilities, leaving you doubting your perceptions and second-guessing your instincts. They might play the victim to elicit sympathy or use flattery as bait to gain your trust. Their ultimate goal? To control and dominate while maintaining the illusion of innocence. They thrive on creating confusion and dependence, ensuring you're always left wondering, is it me or is it them? Imagine a colleague who subtly undermines your confidence. They praise you in public, but plant seeds of doubt in private. You did great, but don't you think the presentation lacked depth? Just a thought. Or a friend who conveniently forgets to invite you to gatherings, then guilt trips you for feeling excluded. Oh, you're upset? I thought you didn't like crowds. These manipulations, small as they seem, chip away at your peace and clarity over time. The Stoics teach us to ground ourselves in truth and not be swayed by the actions of others. Epictetus reminds us, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. This means trusting your values and perceptions, even when someone tries to distort them. Manipulators seek to control how you see the world, but your power lies in maintaining your perspective. To counter manipulation, practice self-awareness and clarity. Ask yourself, what is the truth of this situation? Is their narrative serving me or only them? The more you focus on what you know to be true, the less influence they will have over you. Their tactics may be cunning, but they reveal a deeper flaw: their inability to build genuine connections or stand on their integrity. Recognizing this is your first step toward liberation. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the best revenge is to be unlike the one who caused the injury. Refuse to play their game, and instead live with clarity, strength, and honesty. Remember, manipulation is their attempt to control you, but the moment you see it for what it is, you reclaim your power. Trust yourself and let their web of lies unravel in the face of your unshakable truth. Number 2, they habitually lie. For some, lying isn't just a tool, it's a way of life. These individuals bend every truth, twist every story, and manipulate every situation to exalt themselves and diminish others. Their lies are not mere fabrications. They are calculated acts designed to control the narrative, inflate their importance, and ensure they always come out on top. They weave their deceit seamlessly into conversations, making you question your reality. They might embellish their achievements, distort events to paint themselves as heroes or victims, or fabricate entire stories to gain sympathy or admiration. The result? A web of confusion traps those around them, leaving them doubting not only themselves, but even themselves. Imagine a friend who constantly rewrites history. Remember that time I saved the project? Everyone said it was all because of me. You know their contribution was minimal, but their confidence in the lie makes you second-guess your memory. Or perhaps a partner who justifies their hurtful actions with blatant falsehoods. I never said that. You're imagining things. Their lies are not harmless. They are weapons meant to disarm you and keep you under their control. The Stoics warn us of the corrosive power of deceit. As Seneca declared, lying is the foundation of evil. Lies erode trust, breed chaos, and cloud judgment, making it essential to shield your mind from their toxic influence. To combat habitual liars, embrace radical honesty with yourself. Ask, what aligns with my values and reality? Trust your instincts, even when their words try to undermine them. Let their lies reveal their character, not distort your own. The act of lying speaks volumes about their inner turmoil. A person who constantly distorts the truth is running from their inadequacies, building a fragile identity atop falsehoods. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Choose integrity over deception, even when faced with those who refuse to do the same. Remember, their lies are not your burden to bear. By staying anchored in truth and refusing to engage with their distortions, you protect your peace and reclaim your power. Lies may temporarily exalt them, but truth always prevails, and in its light, their deceit crumbles. Number 3, they always seek to control everything. Control is the hallmark of someone driven by insecurity and manipulation. These individuals go to great lengths to micromanage situations, people, and outcomes to ensure everything aligns with their desires. Their control often appears subtle at first, masked as help or guidance, but it becomes oppressive as they tighten their grip. Imagine a colleague who insists on reviewing every detail of your work, even when it's unnecessary. They might say, "I just want to make sure everything's perfect," but their constant interference sends a clear message. "I don't trust you to handle this on your own." Over time, their behavior stifles your creativity, making you second-guess every decision. Or think of a friend who always has to dictate plans. If you suggest meeting at a particular restaurant, they override you with, "Actually, let's go here instead. It's better." Even casual hangouts become a stage for their control, leaving you feeling unheard and undervalued. This behavior isn't limited to work or social settings. In relationships, a controlling partner might track your movements, decide how you spend your time, or even criticize your choices under the guise of looking out for you. They create a dynamic where you feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells to avoid their disapproval. The Stoics teach us that true freedom comes from focusing on what we can control, ourselves. Epictetus reminds us freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When faced with a controlling person, the key is to maintain your independence and not let your need for dominance dictate your actions. To navigate this, establish firm boundaries. For example, if a colleague is overstepping, politely but firmly say, "I appreciate your input, but I've got this under control." In relationships, remind yourself, "I am capable of making my own choices and I do not need their permission to live my life." Control isn't a sign of strength. It's a reflection of their internal chaos. A person who truly values others doesn't need to dominate them. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By recognizing their controlling behavior and choosing to stand firm in your autonomy, you reclaim the power they seek to take. Their need for control is their weakness. Your ability to resist it is your strength. Protect your freedom and let their efforts to dominate fall away like sand through your fingers. Number 4, they exploit others without remorse. For some people, others are not individuals with emotions, needs, or boundaries. They are merely tools to be used and discarded. These individuals exploit relationships and manipulate those around them without a shred of guilt, viewing others only as a means to achieve their own goals. Imagine your coworker, Tom, who constantly asks for your help on projects under the guise of teamwork. You stay late, put in extra effort, and support him at every turn. When the project succeeds, Tom takes all the credit in front of management. When it fails, he's quick to point fingers at you. Tom doesn't see you as a colleague. He sees you as a stepping stone for his advancement. Or consider a friend who only reaches out when they need something: money, a favor, or emotional support. But when you're in need, they're conveniently too busy or disappear altogether. Their friendship isn't genuine, it's transactional. The most insidious examples can occur in family dynamics. A narcissistic parent may emotionally manipulate their child into fulfilling their unmet dreams or taking on responsibilities far beyond their years. The child becomes a pawn in the parent's quest for validation or status, their own needs ignored or dismissed. The Stoics remind us to focus on what we give rather than what we receive. Seneca said, "What you give to others is truly yours." This wisdom doesn't mean allowing yourself to be exploited. It means being intentional with your generosity and ensuring your kindness stems from strength, not coercion. How can you protect yourself from being used? Begin by recognizing the signs. Are they consistently taking without giving? Do their actions make you feel undervalued or drained? Once you identify the pattern, set firm boundaries. For example, if Tom asks for help again, you might say, "I've noticed I've been taking on a lot of your workload. This time, I need to focus on my projects." Remember, boundaries are not selfish, they are essential. Exploiters thrive on the willingness of others to overextend themselves. By saying no when necessary, you disrupt their cycle of manipulation and reclaim your energy. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Exploiters operate in the shadows of deceit, but by staying true to your values and recognizing your worth, you can avoid falling prey to their tactics. Ultimately, their lack of remorse reveals a deeper emptiness within them, a void they try to fill by taking from others. Your strength lies in refusing to play their game. Give freely where your kindness is appreciated and walk away when it's not. Their exploitation does not define your value. Your ability to rise above it does. Number 5. They spread negativity and chaos. Some people thrive in drama, stirring up conflict and spreading negativity wherever they go. These individuals inject tension into situations and create unnecessary chaos, leaving those around them feeling drained and unsettled. Instead of resolving issues, they magnify them, making every molehill into a mountain. Think of your friend, Sarah, who always seems to bring a storm into every room she enters. She constantly complains about her job, her relationships, or even trivial inconveniences. Every conversation with her turns into an emotional marathon. If something good happens in your life, she subtly finds a way to downplay it or shift the focus back to her struggles. That's great for you, but you're so lucky. Things never work out for me. Worse, Sarah often pits people against each other. She might share confidential comments out of context, saying, "Did you know what so-and-so said about you?" Her goal isn't resolution. It's to create division and drama and keep herself at the center of the chaos. The Stoics teach us that maintaining inner calm in the face of external chaos is essential. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." While you can't control Sarah's behavior, you can control how much access she has to your energy and how you respond to her drama. To navigate relationships with people like Sarah, practice emotional boundaries. When she tries to pull you into her negativity, gently redirect the conversation. "I hear you're going through a tough time, but let's focus on what we can solve right now." If she continues to bring chaos, limit your interactions with her. It's okay to protect your peace. Her need for drama often stems from unresolved internal struggles. Instead of addressing her issues, Sarah externalizes them, creating chaos as a distraction. While you can empathize with her struggles, you are not obligated to bear the weight of her negativity. Seneca reminds us, associate with those who will make a better man of you. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you, not those who drain your energy and cloud your perspective. Remember, choosing distance from negativity is not abandonment, it's self-preservation. Sarah's chaos doesn't have to dictate your peace. By maintaining your calm and setting boundaries, you free yourself from her influence while offering her an example of stability and strength. Let her drama swirl without you at its center, and focus on cultivating the harmony you deserve. Number 6. They never apologize. Some individuals refuse to utter the words, "I'm sorry," even when their mistakes are glaringly obvious. For them, admitting fault feels like losing control or showing weakness. Instead of taking responsibility, they deflect, justify, or even blame you for their missteps. This unyielding pride can wreak havoc in a relationship, leaving their partner feeling dismissed and invalidated. Take, for example, Alex and his wife, Lisa. One evening, Lisa forgot to pick up Alex from work despite promising she would. When Alex gently brought it up, she didn't apologize. Instead, she snapped, "Well, you should have reminded me. I had a lot on my plate. The issue wasn't her forgetfulness, it was her inability to acknowledge that she had let him down. Over time, these incidents piled up. When Lisa was late, when she overstepped boundaries, or even when she hurt Alex with sharp words, her response was always the same: defensiveness, justification, or silence. For Alex, the lack of accountability eroded the trust in their relationship. Without an apology, every conflict felt unresolved, leaving a lingering ache that built resentment. The Stoics teach us that true strength lies in humility and self-awareness. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It is not the man who makes a mistake who is weak, but the one who refuses to correct it." Admitting fault isn't a sign of weakness, it's a mark of courage and maturity. If you're in a relationship with someone who refuses to apologize, it's essential to set boundaries and communicate your feelings. For instance, Alex might say, "I understand we all make mistakes, but when you don't acknowledge them, it makes me feel unheard and disrespected." While you can't force an apology, you can advocate for the respect you deserve. It's also vital to recognize that their refusal to apologize often stems from their insecurities. They may fear that admitting fault will make them vulnerable or diminish their self-worth. While this insight can foster empathy, it doesn't excuse their behavior or negate your need for accountability in the relationship. Seneca reminds us, "To err is human, but to persist in error is of the devil." Apologies are the glue that repairs the cracks in a relationship, but when one partner consistently refuses to take responsibility, those cracks deepen into fractures. Remember, you deserve a partnership built on mutual respect and accountability. If apologies are absent, it's a sign of deeper issues that may require open dialogue, or, in some cases, reevaluating the relationship's health. True strength comes from seeking resolution, not avoiding it. And sometimes, the strongest act of all is choosing to prioritize your peace over your pride. Number 7, they lack empathy. Empathy is the foundation of meaningful relationships. Yet some people are shockingly indifferent to the feelings of others. They dismiss emotions as irrelevant or overdramatic, leaving their partner feeling unseen and unvalued. This lack of empathy isn't always overt. It can show up subtly in small acts of neglect that gradually erode the relationship. Take Emily and her boyfriend Jake, for example. Emily had a tough day at work and opened up to Jake, saying, "I'm feeling so overwhelmed. My boss gave me extra work last minute, and I'm exhausted." Jake's response? "Well, you'll get over it. It's just work. Stop stressing so much." Instead of offering comfort or understanding, Jake brushed off her feelings as trivial. Over time, these moments became a pattern. When Emily shared her worries or joys, Jake's responses were either dismissive or self-centered. If she mentioned feeling hurt by something he said, he would reply with, "You're too sensitive. It's not a big deal." The lack of acknowledgement made Emily feel isolated, even in the relationship. The Stoics teach us to guard our peace and not let the indifference of others dictate our emotional well-being. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." While Jake's lack of empathy hurt Emily, her strength lay in recognizing that his inability to care wasn't a reflection of her worth. For someone dealing with an unempathetic partner, it's crucial to set emotional boundaries. Emily could respond by saying, "I need you to listen and try to understand how I feel, even if you don't agree. This is important to me." While you can't force someone to develop empathy, you can communicate your needs and decide if the relationship aligns with your emotional health. It's also important to recognize that a lack of empathy often reveals deeper insecurities or emotional immaturity in the unempathetic person. They may struggle with their feelings and, as a result, dismiss others' emotions to avoid discomfort. While this insight may foster compassion, it doesn't mean you have to tolerate their behavior. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Protecting your emotional well-being means not internalizing their indifference as your inadequacy. Relationships should be a source of support and connection. If your partner consistently fails to show empathy, it's worth considering whether their actions align with the kind of partnership you want and deserve. Remember, your feelings are valid, and a truly caring partner will honor them, not dismiss them. If they can't, It may be time to prioritize your peace and seek connections that nurture your emotional growth. Number 8. They envy others' success. Instead of celebrating others' achievements, some people can't hide their resentment. Success, rather than inspiring them, becomes a source of bitterness. They don't just wish for their progress, they begrudge others for their accomplishment, viewing someone else's win as their loss. Consider Mark and his friend, Ryan. Mark landed a well-deserved promotion at work after months of hard effort. Instead of congratulating him, Ryan made snide comments. "Guess you just got lucky, huh? Or maybe you're good at kissing up to the boss." What should have been a moment of pride for Mark turned sour because Ryan couldn't handle the idea of his friend excelling. This jealousy often shows up in subtle ways. They might minimize your achievements. "That's not a big deal. Anyone could have done it." Or they could find ways to undermine you by pointing out flaws. "Sure, you got the promotion, but didn't you make a mistake on that project last month?" Their envy poisons what should be joyful occasions. The Stoics remind us that envy is a self-destructive emotion, harming both the envious person and their relationships. Seneca said, "Rejoice in the good fortune of others, as if it were your own." When someone else succeeds, it takes nothing away from you. In fact, their success can inspire and motivate you to grow. Dealing with an envious person requires a mix of empathy and boundaries. Recognize that their jealousy stems from their insecurities and dissatisfaction with their life. Mark, for example, could respond to Ryan with calm confidence. "I worked hard for this promotion, and I'm proud of it. I hope you'll find something that excites you just as much." At the same time, don't allow their envy to tarnish your happiness. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Their jealousy isn't your burden to carry. Focus on your achievements and surround yourself with people who genuinely celebrate your success. Envy reveals more about the person feeling it than about the person it targets. It reflects their fear of inadequacy and their inability to find joy in their journey. While you can't control their emotions, you can choose to protect your peace and continue striving for your goals unapologetically. Remember, success is not a finite resource. Your victories don't diminish theirs, and their resentment doesn't diminish you. By rising above their envy and maintaining your focus, you embody the strength and resilience that jealousy will never conquer. Celebrate your achievements fully, knowing they are the product of your dedication and hard work. Number 9. They lack genuine relationships. For some individuals, relationships are merely transactional, a means to an end, rather than a source of connection and trust. They collect acquaintances and allies for convenience, but rarely invest emotionally or authentically in their bonds. Their relationships lack depth because they are built on superficiality, manipulation, or self-interest, rather than mutual care and respect. Imagine someone like Chloe, who is always surrounded by people but seems to have no true friends. She's quick to attend parties, charm new acquaintances, and network extensively. However, when those people face difficulties or need genuine support, Chloe is nowhere to be found. Her presence is conditional, dependent on what she can gain from the relationship. In romantic relationships, this lack of authenticity can manifest as emotional unavailability or a refusal to commit. For example, Chloe might date someone not because she cares deeply for them, but because they elevate her social status or provide material benefits. When challenges arise, she disengages, unwilling to put in the effort needed to deepen the connection. The Stoics teach us that meaningful relationships are built on mutual respect and authenticity. Epictetus reminds us, associate with those who will make a better man of you. True relationships challenge us to grow, support us in hard times, and celebrate our joys without ulterior motives. If you find yourself dealing with someone who lacks genuine relationships, recognize the red flags. Do their actions show consistent care? Or do they only engage when it benefits them? Are their interactions transactional or heartfelt? To protect yourself, set clear boundaries. For instance, if Chloe only reaches out when she needs a favor, you might gently say, "I'm happy to help sometimes, but I'd appreciate a relationship that feels more balanced." This approach protects your energy while allowing them to reflect on their behavior. It's also crucial to acknowledge that their superficial relationships stem from a deeper fear of vulnerability or rejection. While this insight may foster empathy, it doesn't mean you should tolerate their emotional detachment at the expense of your well-being. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Surround yourself with people whose presence enriches your life, not those who drain it. Genuine relationships are mutual investments where both parties contribute and grow together. Remember, relationships built on authenticity are rare but invaluable. If someone in your life lacks the depth to form real connections, it's okay to prioritize relationships that bring meaning and joy. Let their superficiality serve as a reminder of what you truly deserve. Bonds rooted in trust, honesty, and care. Number 10. They exploit others' weaknesses. Some individuals have an uncanny ability to zero in on the vulnerabilities of those around them, not to support or uplift, but to manipulate, control, or humiliate. Rather than respecting others' humanity, they weaponize weaknesses to maintain a sense of superiority or achieve their personal goals. Imagine a partner like Kevin, who knows that his girlfriend Laura struggles with self-esteem. When Laura expresses her insecurities, instead of offering reassurance, Kevin uses her vulnerability to his advantage. If she voices a concern, he might say, "You're just being sensitive again. No one else would put up with you the way I do." By preying on her self-doubt, he keeps her feeling dependent and unworthy of better treatment. In a workplace setting, this behavior can be even more insidious. Think of a boss who constantly exploits an employee's eagerness to please. They pile on extra tasks, guilt-tripping them with statements like, "I thought you were a team player," knowing the employee's fear of disappointing others will push them to comply. Their exploitation thrives on the employee's sense of obligation and hesitation to set boundaries. The Stoics teach us that our vulnerabilities do not define us, and no one has the right to use them against us. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Recognizing when someone is exploiting your weaknesses is the first step toward reclaiming your power. How do you counteract such behavior? Start by understanding and accepting your vulnerabilities. When someone like Kevin tries to use Laura's insecurities against her, she responds with, "I'm aware of my struggles, but they don't define my worth." Your words are not constructive or helpful. This shifts the dynamic, making it harder for the manipulator to maintain control. Setting boundaries is also key. For the overburdened employee, a simple but firm statement like, "I can't take on additional tasks without compromising the quality of my work," can disrupt the cycle of exploitation. Boundaries remind manipulators that their tactics will no longer succeed. It's essential to remember that exploiting others' weaknesses reveals more about the manipulator than their target. Their actions often stem from their insecurities and need for control. While this insight fosters understanding, it doesn't excuse their behavior. Seneca said, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." Surround yourself with people who uplift and strengthen you, not those who prey on your struggles. Your vulnerabilities are not flaws. They are part of your humanity. Recognizing and owning them disarms those who seek to exploit them, allowing you to rise above their tactics and reclaim your strength. Remember, no one has power over you unless you give it to them. Choose to protect your peace and value yourself beyond their manipulation. Number 11. They sabotage others' joy. For some, seeing others happy or successful stirs a deep sense of resentment. Instead of celebrating others' joy, they find ways to disrupt it, often out of jealousy, bitterness, or a need to feel superior. Their interference isn't accidental, it's intentional, driven by a desire to bring others down to their level of dissatisfaction. Imagine Mia, who recently got a promotion at work. When she shares her excitement with her friend Lily, instead of congratulations, Lily responds, "Must be nice to have everything handed to you. Some of us have to work for it." Lily's comment isn't about Mia's promotion. It's about Lily's inability to celebrate someone else's happiness without making it about her insecurities. In relationships, this behavior can be even more damaging. Picture a partner like Sam, who notices his significant other, Jenna, glowing after a wonderful day out with friends. Instead of being happy for her, Sam says, "Glad you had fun while I was stuck at home dealing with everything alone." His words turn her joy into guilt, sabotaging the positive energy she brought home. The Stoics teach us that no one can take away our happiness unless we allow them to. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When someone tries to undermine your joy, the key is to recognize their behavior for what it is, a reflection of their unhappiness. To handle such situations, focus on maintaining your perspective. If Lily tries to diminish Mia's promotion, Mia might respond, "I've worked hard for this, and I'm proud of it. I hope you find something that excites you too." This shifts the focus back to positivity without allowing Lily's negativity to derail her happiness. In relationships, it's essential to communicate boundaries. Jenna could tell Sam, "I'm happy to share my day with you, but your comment feels unfair. I want us to support each other's happiness." By addressing the behavior, Jenna protects her joy while inviting accountability. It's also important to understand that those who sabotage joy often do so because they feel unfulfilled in their own lives. While this insight fosters empathy, it doesn't mean tolerating their actions. Seneca reminds us, true happiness comes from our actions. Their disruption of your joy reflects their inner turmoil, not your worth. Remember, your happiness is yours to own. Don't let their bitterness overshadow your light. Surround yourself with those who celebrate your victories and cherish your moments of joy. By recognizing and addressing these behaviors, you reclaim your peace and ensure that your happiness remains untouchable. Number 12. They mistake kindness for weakness. For some, kindness isn't seen as a virtue, it's viewed as an opportunity to exploit. These individuals perceive compassion and generosity as vulnerabilities, using them as leverage to manipulate, take advantage of, and further their agenda. To them, a kind-hearted person is simply an easy target. Imagine Clara, a generous and empathetic individual who often goes out of her way to help others. Her coworker, Tom, notices this and begins offloading his responsibilities onto her with statements like, "You're so much better at this than I am," or "I need your help, I'm swamped." While Clara helps out of genuine kindness, Tom exploits her willingness, taking credit for her efforts and giving nothing in return. In relationships, this exploitation can become even more insidious. Think of Sarah, who constantly supports her partner, like Jake, emotionally and financially during tough times. Rather than appreciating her efforts, Jake begins to expect her sacrifices as the norm. When she hesitates to comply, he manipulates her by saying, "If you cared about me, you'd do this." Jake's behavior reveals his belief that Sarah's kindness is something to be used, not valued. The Stoics teach us that kindness is a strength, not a weakness, but it must be exercised with wisdom. Seneca reminds us, kindness is invincible when genuine, but it should not be blind. True kindness comes with boundaries, ensuring it is neither exploited nor diminished. To navigate interactions with those who mistake kindness for weakness, recognize their patterns, and set firm limits. Clara, for example, could respond to Tom by saying, "I'm happy to help when I can, but I have my responsibilities to focus on." This assertion makes it clear that her kindness is a choice, not an obligation. In relationships, Sarah might tell Jake, "I'm here to support you, but my care for you doesn't mean I'll sacrifice my own needs indefinitely." This reframes the dynamic, reminding him that her kindness is a gift, not a guarantee. Those who exploit kindness often do so because they cannot foster genuine connections. They mistake compassion for naivety, failing to see the resilience and strength that true kindness requires. Marcus Aurelius advises, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Rather than hardening your heart, continue to embody kindness with discernment, ensuring your efforts are directed toward those who respect and appreciate them. Remember, being kind doesn't mean being a pushover. Your compassion is a reflection of your character, but it's not an invitation for exploitation. By pairing kindness with boundaries, you protect your peace, honor your worth, and ensure that your generosity remains a source of strength, not a tool for others' manipulation. Number 13. They create division. Some individuals thrive on discord, actively working to pit people against each other to serve their interests. These divisive tactics are not accidental. They are deliberate attempts to gain power, control, or personal advantage by exploiting relationships and fostering mistrust among others. Imagine a coworker like Lisa, who sees teamwork as a threat to her ambitions. She plants seeds of doubt among colleagues with subtle remarks like, "I don't think John agrees with your approach," or, "Emma said she doesn't trust your judgment on this project." These comments sow mistrust and fracture collaboration, leaving Lisa positioned as the neutral figure everyone turns to for clarification or resolution. In friendships, divisive behavior can take the form of gossip or selective storytelling. Think of Ben, who tells Sarah that their mutual friend Jake has been speaking negatively about her. "Jake said you've been slacking lately. I thought you should know." Ben's goal isn't to help Sarah. It's to isolate Jake, elevate himself, and keep Sarah dependent on his insider information. Even within families, division can occur. A parent might favor one sibling over another, or manipulate siblings by sharing incomplete or skewed information to maintain control over family dynamics. This kind of behavior fractures relationships, creating long-lasting rifts that serve only the manipulator's agenda. The Stoics teach us to rise above pettiness and divisiveness. Marcus Aurelius advises, "What stands in the way becomes the way." When confronted with someone trying to divide relationships, use their actions as an opportunity to foster clarity, understanding, and unity. To counter divisive tactics, prioritize open communication. In the workplace, Lisa's coworkers could address her comments directly. "Let's clarify this together. John, what's your perspective on this approach?" By confronting her divisive behavior with transparency, they neutralize her attempts to create conflict. In friendships, address the situation calmly and directly with those involved. Sarah might say, "Ben mentioned that Jake had concerns about me. Let's clear the air. I value our friendship and don't want misunderstandings to come between us." This approach removes the manipulator's influence and strengthens the bond between true friends. It's important to recognize that those who create division often do so out of insecurity or a desire for control. By breaking connections between others, they attempt to make themselves indispensable. While this understanding can foster empathy, it doesn't excuse their behavior. Seneca reminds us, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." Surround yourself with people who seek unity, not division. Choose relationships built on trust, honesty, and mutual respect, and distance yourself from those who thrive on discord. Remember, relationships are stronger when built on open communication and shared understanding. By refusing to let divisive tactics influence you, you protect your peace, foster stronger connections, and dismantle the manipulator's power. Let their efforts to create division fail in the face of your commitment to unity and integrity. Number 14, they see everyone as competition. To some, life is a battlefield, and every person they meet is an opponent. They wear an invisible crown of victory in their mind, driven by an insatiable need to win at all costs. For them, collaboration is a weakness, and mutual success is unacceptable. They must always come out on top, no matter the cost to others. Picture someone like Victor, whose name ironically contrasts with his relentless quest to prove superiority. At work, he sabotages team efforts by withholding critical information just to make himself look indispensable. In friendships, he subtly undermines others, saying things like, "You're doing well, but I heard someone else landed a much bigger promotion." Even in moments meant to celebrate others, he twists the narrative to highlight his own achievements, ensuring he remains the center of attention. In relationships, this competitive mindset manifests in ways that erode trust and intimacy. Imagine a partner who constantly compares themselves to you, minimizing your successes, inflating their own, or subtly making you feel inadequate. If you share an accomplishment, their response isn't joy but a dismissive, "That's great, but I've done something even better." Their need to dominate transforms what could be a partnership into a rivalry. The Stoics remind us that life is not about outshining others, but about living virtuously. Marcus Aurelius said, "It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves." When someone sees you as a competition, the most powerful response is to refuse to engage in their game. Their crown of imagined victories holds no weight when you focus on your path. To navigate such relationships, set clear boundaries and prioritize your peace. If Victor attempts to undermine you, respond calmly and assertively. I value collaboration over competition. Let's focus on what benefits everyone. In personal relationships, don't let their need to compete rob you of your joy. For example, if your partner dismisses your success, respond with confidence. I'm proud of what I've achieved, and I hope we can celebrate each other's accomplishments together. It's essential to recognize that their competitive behavior often stems from insecurity. They measure their worth not by their growth, but by how they perceive themselves relative to others. While this may elicit some empathy, it doesn't mean tolerating their behavior. Seneca reminds us, there is no need to sharpen your sword when you're at peace. True strength lies in confidence, not comparison. Surround yourself with people who lift you, not those who see you as a rival to tear down. Life isn't a zero-sum game, and your success does not diminish theirs, or vice versa. By refusing to play their game of constant competition, you reclaim your focus and energy. Let them chase their hollow victories, while you forge a path built on integrity, collaboration, and true fulfillment. Theirs is a crown of insecurity, but yours is a life of genuine triumph. Conclusion. Recognizing the signs of an evil person in your life is not just about identifying toxicity. It's about protecting your peace and preserving your mental clarity. By applying the principles of Stoic philosophy, you can maintain composure, resist manipulation, and face negative influences with strength and wisdom. If this article has resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Victory Stoic for more empowering lessons. Leave a comment below with the affirmation, I choose peace and clarity, to declare your commitment to a positive and mindful life. Thank you for joining us. Remember, identifying and distancing yourself from harmful influences is an act of self-care and courage. Together, let's continue to build a life rooted in positivity, wisdom, and inner strength. See you in the next post on Victory Stoic.